Hello everyone, welcome to the top captain picks for game week 5. Today we're going to be looking at the clubs that I would recommend, and right now, as you can see on the screen, a few of these players are some of them. So let's get into the game week 5 fixtures. So what you got here compared to the last video, and huge shout out to everyone who watched the last video and hit the like button as well. Huge shout out to all of you and all the new subscribers as well. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you find this video useful for you, do hit the subscribe button as we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. So what I've done compared to the last video is I've added I've got the teams, their minutes per expected goals and minutes per expected goals conceded. And I've also, in the brackets for minutes per expected goals, I have added the goals they've scored and the goals they have conceded. And also I've added their current position in the league table. So the teams highlighted in yellow are the teams we're going to be looking at, and the fixtures highlighted in yellow are the fixtures we're going to be looking at, and the fixture highlighted in red is kind of the fixture that something could happen, but it's not really sure, because looking at the stats, it's kind of like all over the place. So we're not really sure what's going to happen. But yeah, because we're looking at it, let's look at the fixture in red first of all, shall we? So both teams have a really bad expected goals conceded. So they have really bad defenses, and they're not really scoring as much as well. And they're like, both Newcastle and Leeds are trying to average at least a goal a game, sometimes not even a goal a game, in terms of their expected goals and compared to the expected goals conceded. So what can we expect from the upcoming game? Well, because their defenses are so bad, there is a potential for both sides to be scoring. So you could probably look at captaining a Bamford. I'm not sure what's the status on Callum Wilson. If he's fit, then he could also be a potential captaincy option. But it's not really an attractive option because, like we saw in the last game where Arsenal-Norwich, where both had pretty bad defenses and not that great attacks as well, it could end up in a scrappy game with a 1-0 win on where Arsenal won. So probably not the ideal situation. But let's look at the 4 fixtures that I've highlighted here, which is City, who have a really good expected goal, so a really good attack, against a Southampton team that is a decent defense, I would say. Not the best, but not the worst as well. It's a decent defense, but City's attack is really good. The same thing for Liverpool, who have a really good attack, and they're going up against, interestingly, stats-wise, they're going up against a defense that is looking pretty solid. So people who want to captain Salah might not necessarily be the best pick looking at this, because Crystal Palace, for some reason, have recently improved their defense and they don't seem to be conceding a goal that often. So not the best in terms of stat-wise. Salah probably won't be the best. Someone else who might be really good is Chelsea's attack against Tottenham's defense. Tottenham's defense isn't that great. Chelsea's attack, they don't score too much, but I think betting on Lukaku could be an option. Like Lukaku could have a bit more of a better fixture against Tottenham compared to Salah against Crystal Palace. But then again, you have to take into the fact that it's a London derby, Chelsea versus Tottenham. Anything could happen. So that itself could play to the occasion, and it could end up with Tottenham defending quite a lot. But their defense doesn't look great. Chelsea's attack is pretty decent. And then the 4th fixture is United, their attack against West Ham's defense. Again, West Ham's defense is somewhat decent, like Southampton's defense as well. But the fact is that they don't have Anthony as well, so that means they won't go too forward as well in terms of attack. They might not have too much of threat to United, which would probably play into United's hands in terms of being able to hold the ball more and create more. So we'll be looking into those games. Let's go with my current favorites at least. I've got City first, mainly because of the fact that they have, like I mentioned before, they have a really good attack. Obviously, they're not going against a weak defense in Southampton. It's a decent defense in Southampton. But looking at everyone, like the favorite fixtures, it's something that I think they have probably, in terms of the team they're going against, seems it's not too bad of a defense to go against for returns. But the problem with City is kind of like trying to predict who's going to be the top scorer in that team, and also who's going to actually start that game. That's another thing that we don't even know. Right now, I've highlighted Ferran Torres here, and I've added Ferran Torres and Jack Grealish as well in terms of their heat maps. I've added Southampton's defensive stat, and also I've got a few stats here in terms of City's top 5 players in terms of expected goal involvement. So I sorted it on expected goal involvement, and Grealish is right there on top at 2.59. This is the last 4 game weeks, by the way. Grealish right on top, Mahrez below, Jesus below, Gundogan, and then Ferran Torres at the bottom. But Ferran Torres has had 2 goals and 1 assist, and he costs the cheapest out of all of them. So, and most of you might have already got Ferran Torres in, and looking at his heat map, he's not too much in the box, but he's not too away from it as well, so it's not too bad. While Grealish, you can see he hogs that left-hand side a lot. So those two probably might be your captaincy options. Gabriel Jesus is probably another one that you could probably consider. When I checked his heat map, he was similar to Grealish, but on the right-hand side. So those are the probably 3 players that I would recommend for Manchester City. As you can see, goal attempts for Southampton in terms of they've conceded 53 goal attempts in the last 4. 34 of that have been inside the box. They've conceded 6 goals, by the way. And also goal attempts on target is 16. So they consider a lot inside the box, and City like to play also. They like to get all the way into the box and take shots, so it probably might play into City's hands. So that's the first fixture. Next up, my second favorite fixture would be Chelsea. Now, it's not Liverpool, it's not against Crystal Palace, because of the fact that I told that Crystal Palace do have a decent defense. Now, they could prove me wrong, and Liverpool's attack is really good. So Liverpool's attack could probably overcome Crystal Palace's defense, and Liverpool could score a couple goals at least compared to a smaller scoring line. So that could happen. So it's 2 or 3 could switch Liverpool up next, but right now I put Chelsea, and there's only one guy I put here, Romelu Lukaku. And as you can see on the stats, in terms of sorted for expected goal involvement, Lukaku is right on top for Chelsea's players, followed by Mason Mount, Rhys James, Kai Havertz, and Kovacic. So Lukaku well ahead of everyone else. Tottenham, again, I told you Tottenham's defense isn't that great. It's the worst. Like, looking at all the teams here, Tottenham's defense is the worst. From all the teams that we have checked who are the favorites, Tottenham have the worst defense, which is why I think if you have Lukaku, he could be a really good captaincy shot this week. Goal attempts that Tottenham have considered, which is 70. In the box, 43. From set play, they've considered 21, and headed goal attempts considered 8. So Rhys James will be back in the lineup probably because his suspension is over. So he could play a part in terms of crosses to the box for Lukaku as well. They've considered 7 big chances, Tottenham, so could help for Lukaku. So he could be a captaincy option as well. Now let's get into the third fixture, which is Liverpool. Now Liverpool, Salah is my favorite, and you can see on his heat map right there, it's on the right, but it's also inside the box a lot compared to Diogo Jota, who is a bit all over the place, mostly towards the left. But Salah is my favorite, and I've sorted the team in terms of expected goal involvement. Mane is right on top of that, but Salah is just behind, followed by Trent, if you want a extreme differential, Jota, and then Van Dijk. So Mane right on top, 2 goals, no assist, but Salah 3 goals, 2 assists, and he has penalties as well, Salah. So that's why he might be a bit of a better option. Now, in terms of Crystal Palace's defense, they've conceded 43 goal attempts, 25 in the box, and 14 on target, and only 3 big chances conceded. So that's why I think Crystal Palace could do well to keep Liverpool to a minimal score. Do I see Liverpool drawing against Crystal Palace? Probably not, no. I think Liverpool might end up winning, but I don't know if it'll be a big scoreline like everyone's probably expecting. So that's the reason why I think I placed Salah third, because only 3 big chances conceded for Crystal Palace. So it's up to you guys on how you want to see it. City probably the best. Actually, to be honest, Lukaku could also be like a really good option compared to Salah. But Salah is on here because I think a lot of people own Salah, and a lot of people are going to be captaining him this week. Up next, the fourth one is United. So I've added Ronaldo's stats. Ronaldo's heat map and Bruno Fernandes as well. Bruno Fernandes, as you can see, all over the shop, but just in front of that box. Mostly operates just in front of that box. Ronaldo, after one game, as you can see, it's more towards the left, but he's also in that box a bit. Not too much, but he's a bit in that box as well. And I've sorted this in terms of expected goal involvement. Ronaldo, after one game at 1.47, we'll see how it goes in a few games, but he's really up there. Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Greenwood, and Sancho, they are the top 5. Now, Bruno Fernandes, we saw he doesn't need penalties to score goals. He scored 4 goals already, none of them being penalties. His expected assist isn't it's 0.81, significantly better than everyone else, and expected goals are also at least a goal a game at this point. So he is a good option if you don't have Ronaldo, and if you still own Bruno. Bruno is a decent person to captain. Now, looking at West Ham's defensive stats, 42 conceded, 29 in the box, 13 outside the box. So 13 outside the box does play to Bruno Fernandes because he likes to take shots from outside the box as well. Headed goal attempts conceded 10, which means if you have Shaw, and if you have Cristiano Ronaldo, good for FPL points because United will look to cross the ball into Cristiano Ronaldo, and they've considered quite a bit of headed goal attempts. And then Big Sean's considered 5, and they've considered only 5 goals as well. So let's see what difference it'll make to West Ham's gameplay without having Antonio right there as well, which means they could probably be less attacking than what they are. And that I don't think West Ham are going to be the team that are going to be defending with a block like how Newcastle did. So United might have a bit more space to operate in West Ham's defensive half. So let's see how it goes. But Cristiano Ronaldo could be a really good captaincy option this week as well if you have him. So those are my 4 teams. That's what I would recommend to target. If I was to pick one, I think Lukaku is a good shout. It's just the fact that it's a London derby that's a bit of a problem. But if you had Lukaku, I think I would captain Lukaku first, to be honest. He might be my favorite because of the fact that we don't know what City player is going to be in that team. Obviously, Pep Guardiola has been naming a consistent team right until now, but then with the introduction of now Champions League and playing Wednesday, Sunday, or Tuesday, Saturday, that could change the team a bit. So we'll see what happens with regards to that. I think Lukaku is my favorite. Salah probably my second. Because of the fact that I don't know what Manchester City... If you had a Manchester City asset, I probably wouldn't mind risking captaining, but I don't know. Lukaku, Salah, and Ronaldo would be my top 3. And then a Manchester City player as the differential captain pick. So that's my captaincy videos. Let me know what you think in the comments. Once again, if this video helped you, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. I'll be answering each and every single one of those comments. So hit the comment button, ask your questions, fire away. And I will see you guys for the podcast tomorrow. Stay tuned. It'll be live on YouTube as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned. It'll be at 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow podcast, come ask your questions. We'll be looking into what to do with Antonio as well. And we'll be looking into various different defenders and midfielder options if you're going to keep Antonio. So thank you all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.